Okay, so I'm going to explain what this video is. So I tour with a one-woman show that is comedy and storytelling with a message. And at the end of it, I almost always do a Q&A, and I answer any and all questions that the audience has. I always preface it by saying you can ask me literally anything you want. You cannot offend me. Totally cool if you hear that as a challenge, I would. And then I open the floor to questions. And this specific day, the audience was a few hundred teenagers, somewhere between, I would say, 300 and 400 teenagers. And they were such a great audience. When I was telling the powerful, meaningful stories, you could have heard a pin drop. When I was saying the funny stuff, they laughed, they got into it, they were amazing. And at the end of it, I took questions, and there were 2 questions that I loved, so I thought I'd share them with you today. The first one is probably the most inappropriate, brave question I have ever been asked. I've since been asked this a few times, but I was impressed that a teenager in front of adults in the room was like, I'm gonna go for it. Without further ado, here's the question because you can't really hear it on camera. The question is, what does Tourette's do when you're having sex?
Yes. That's hilarious that you felt very much to ask that. I'm trying to think of the best way to answer this. I'm not, don't worry. Here's what I will say without getting specific. Tourette's exists in all parts of my life. It doesn't ever calm down. So whatever it is that day is what it is that day. But I will say in terms of relationships, because I think that is more appropriate for me to answer. For a long time I was worried that someone wouldn't like me because I had Tourette's, or that would, they wouldn't want me to be their person. And I realized, who cares? If someone doesn't want to deal with me or doesn't want to date me because I'm a little extra twitchy, then that's on them and they're not my match, they're not my basheret. We all have something that makes us sometimes feel insecure or self-conscious, right? Every single person. So the person you end up with should be someone who loves the heck out of whatever it is that is. So that's how I answer it. Yeah.
Not easy to answer that. While keeping my job, I tour a lot with that organization. So I had to walk a fine line of answering the question without getting fired and giving them a takeaway that I feel would be meaningful and helpful and not get me fired. Next question, not as inappropriate, but I think equally fun to learn about, was what's your favorite tick? What a great question.
For a while I did yell words from Tourette's. Most people with Tourette's don't, 1 out of every 4, but for a while I was one of the lucky ones. And Tourette's would pick up on things that I yelled. So at one point, do you remember the Little Caesars commercial? Where that little guy is pizza, pizza? When I was in middle school, I saw that and Tourette's was yes, that! And for 2 years, whenever it got quiet, I would yell, pizza, pizza!
I've gotten millions of questions while I've been on the road over the past few years, and I really don't think it's possible to throw me off my game, shake me, make me uncomfortable while I'm on stage. I'm pretty much ready for anything, and again, please hear that as a challenge. And as I come to a community near you and I do the Q&A, go for it. I hope to see more of you more often. Thanks for hanging out with me, and as always, you do you.